Today's sponsor is Audible.com, who has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at www.audibletrial.com/The Statement. Welcome, Statement Show listeners. Do you like to play fantasy football? Do you like to play fantasy basketball? Hockey? Golf? Then go to DraftKings.com and enter promo code ZACH. That's right, promo code ZACH. Get free entry to fantasy contests and win real cash. Play free or paid contests and win real money. Daily leagues, no season-long commitments, and over $1 billion in guaranteed in prizes this year. DraftKings is 100% based in the U.S. and is 100% legal. So, go to DraftKings.com today and enter promo code ZACH.
From the Night Shift Crew Studios in the DC metro area, this is The Statement Show. The lights are on. Welcome back to another episode of The Statement Show. I'm Terry James.
And I'm Zach Chehi, and we're the podcast that fits in no category.
Zach, you know what, man? Normally we spend about 5-10 minutes rambling around, talking nonsense, but today we've got Chloe Amour with us, so we're not even going to waste any time. What do you think, man?
No, let's get to it.
Hey, Chloe, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Oh, doing fantastic. Thank you.
Cool.
So, okay, I feel like I have a million questions for you. I'm sure I don't, but I just feel like I have a ton for you. So,
well, I have been keeping you waiting, so.
Oh, you know what? That's okay. You know, we appreciate you even taking the time for it. And you know what? Before we get started here, Chloe is feeling a little bit under the weather. We were a little concerned, but she's a trooper. So thank you, Chloe, for joining us, though.
Yes. I couldn't not do it. So just let them know what's going on.
Okay, so I know probably a ton of people know you, but just for those who do not, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Chloe Amour, or at least that's what I go by. But I mean, Chloe is actually part of my real name. So I'm Chloe, and I am originally from San Antonio, Texas, now living in LA, which I love, California. And I started off doing nude modeling for Playboy, and then that's how I got introduced to do porn, which I love. I wouldn't change it for anything. And I'm 23, going to be 24 at the end of the month, which is a little exciting, but a little bit like, like I'm just getting older and older. And what else? I mean, I'm Latina, but Mexican, Spanish, and Cherokee. Because I always get asked that question every day, like, what ethnicity are you? What's your background? I'm like, okay, well, so let me put that out there. My favorite food's chocolate. My favorite color is purple. Let's see, what else can I think of on the spot? Chocolate. I don't know. I'm just ready for your question.
That's a lot. Well, you know what? I can actually go off.
You didn't tell us what sign you were.
Oh, I'm a Gemini.
And do you like long walks on the beach?
Oh, sure.
Yes, I like long walks on the beach, like horseback riding on the beach, or like horseback riding, period.
Oh, wow. Right. Okay, so let me go back just a couple of seconds ago where you were talking about Playboy. That was the very first. That's how everything got started with you?
Yes. What happened was like I was just at a point in my life where I kind of felt like undecided, and I didn't expect that. I was like, where I grew up, like it was like the plan was like mapped out for me. I was going to finish high school, and I was going to go to college, like university, and I was going to go to 4 to 8 years, and then I was going to like graduate and start a family, and those are all the things that I was supposed to do. And I hit a point in my life, I was 20 years old, I kept dropping my classes, I was working full time, living on my own, and I just felt like 80 years old because I literally would like work full time, like 40 hours to 45 hours a week, and going to night school. And then I would come home to my empty apartment because I couldn't afford furniture, and all I had was a bed set. And I just felt like I wasn't happy. And for the longest time, people had always told me like how beautiful I was and how pretty, and like I had potential to do other things. And like I never believed them. I didn't think those things were practical. So one day I just kind of thought, like, fuck it, I'm going to apply for Playboy. I mean, I was very inspired by Holly Madison. I was 20 at the time when I saw Peep Show in Vegas, and I was like, oh my God, look at where she started. She started from doing Playboy, and now she has her own show in Vegas. Like, a lot of opportunities can come from modeling with that company and working for that company, and they hire girls with no experience. So I thought, like, let me go ahead and apply online. It's just worth a shot, like, sending in photos. I didn't trust anybody to take naked pictures of me. I actually asked my mom to do it, and my mom was like, she's like, okay, do you really want to do this? Like, but she respected the brand as well, so she went ahead and was, like, supportive with it. So I started doing that. I didn't get a call back right away, which made me feel like, okay, I should probably plan to do other things. And it took about a month where I just got a random call, and they were like, hi, we're calling from Playboy. And I thought it was a joke. And they're like, oh, would you like to come out to L.A. and then shoot for us? Because they were asking me if I still wanted to do it. And I was like, of course I want to do it. Like, yes. So that's kind of how it started. I went out to L.A., did my first nude shoot, my first professional modeling shoot ever. And a year passed. I thought that by doing that everything was just kind of going to get handed to me. Like, not saying that I'm that type of person, but I just didn't understand how things worked. And so a year went by, and I didn't really put much effort into my modeling career until I realized, this is something I really want to do. I'm tired of, like, working all the time and, coming home and, just being tired, So I created a Model Mayhem account. From there, I posted the Playboy pictures that I had done and stuff, and then the agency that I'm no longer with, it was the first porn agency I was with, saw the photos, and they were like, hi, we see that you've done nude modeling, you're a very beautiful girl. Would you consider working for Penthouse and Hustler? And I knew exactly what that meant. Like, I knew that you didn't have to ask me if I wanted to do porn. I just knew that meant, like, would you like to do porn? Sure. And from that point on, I mean, I've always been a very sexual person. I'm extremely more open about it now than I was before. Like, living in Texas, like, the only people who would really know were, like, my close friends and, like, my family. Because over there, it's so conservative. It's not really, like, don't really talk about it. Like, a lady does not talk about it. So I just knew, like, these were just steps of, like, who I really was and, like, what I really wanted to do. And, like, I was young, so I'm, like, I was excited and scared at the same time, but I knew that there was, like, no turning back. And then that's just kind of how it started.
Did you actually ever meet Hugh Hefner?
I've never met Hugh Hefner. I've been invited to go to movie nights at the mansion plenty of times. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for why I haven't gone and gotten the chance to meet him, because I was in a relationship at the time. Oh, okay. And my boyfriend was, like, not for me going to the Playboy Mansion unless he would accompany me. Yeah. And so it was kind of one of the things where I missed out on, getting to meet Hugh Hefner. I'm sure I'll probably meet him eventually, but I mean, at this time, I'm like, he's married. Like, what's the point? What's the point now?
Did he actually get married?
I don't know.
Yeah, apparently he's married to one of the Playmates.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's going on in that relationship, but, whoever works for whoever.
So you haven't met him, but have you been to the house, the mansion?
Yeah, I've been in the mansion plenty of times. Actually, still talk to a few of the Playboy models. I'm actually friends with one of the casting directors, which, if I was feeling better, I'd be going out with them tonight.
So now you said you were taking classes. What were you actually taking?
Oh, well, I was taking all of my beginner classes. My first year of college was 18. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I thought it was going to be like high school. Mm-hmm. I signed up for 5 classes my first semester, back to back. I literally only had 10 minutes in between. I knew it was different because I had an essay, I had a project due every other day, times 5. And it was a little overwhelming, but I was like so stubborn and just like independent. I'm like, no, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. I could do all these classes. But then I got a little lazy and I was like, screw this. I'm going to go work at Hollister and I'm going to take a semester off and I'm just going to be like beach bummy.
Nice.
And so I kind of just started taking my basics, which is English, math, science, and history. And then my electives were really the classes that I would go to, which would be like sociology, Tai Chi, and Spanish.
Okay.
I've taken Spanish 3 times, and I cannot speak a lick of Spanish like perfectly. I'm telling you.
But you're part Latino, though, right?
I am.
Okay.
My bloodline has that Latin flair. Yes.
Okay.
So now you said Hollister. That's what you were doing. Like that was the jobs that you got into.
That was one of the jobs. I've at one point had 3 jobs at one time. I've had jobs anywhere from working at Hollister to a tanning salon to doing promo modeling, and then I was a leasing consultant for 2 years.
Oh.
Which was the full-time job.
So let me ask you this: even
if I was working at Hollister and I'd work like 4 hours in the morning, like 3 days a week, I would go to the tanning salon and work like 6 hours every day.
Oh, that would be a nice job,
though. I was always working. Like I would, even if I had an easy job, I still had 2 jobs. And then with that, I would do promo modeling, which would be anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours at night, which is like late night, or like say there'd be a weekend event, which I'd be there from like 4 to 8 hours, just like being like the Budweiser girl or like the Malibu rum girl. Like I've done all that.
So you never thought about like Dallas Cowboys?
It's funny you say that because I did. I was never a cheerleader for my high school, but I did do competition cheer for 1 year. My mom was never really a big fan of it. My aunts on my dad's side were more supportive because they were all cheerleaders. My mom just didn't like the stigma behind a cheerleader. She just felt like cheerleaders were like mean girls, and like she didn't want me to be surrounded with girls like that. But I had like the time of my life. I mean, it was like a great exercise, and I was a flyer, so it was very exhilarating, like being up in the air, thrown in the air, and like doing the choreography. But I was such a perfectionist that I didn't pick up the choreography right away. Because I was kind of one of those people where I'd get it down the first time, but then I'd always want to keep perfecting it so that I would screw up because I was trying too hard to like do it. So cheerleading, yes, it was like an option for me because I thought like I was going to go to a university, and then I was like, oh, cheerleading's going to be perfect. And do cheerleading and be in a sorority and all this stuff. And no, I never did. I mean, I obviously would not be able to do it now. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of too old and I'm in porn. You really know, like the Dallas cheerleaders, like they don't really get benefits, so it wouldn't have been worth it in the end.
Yeah, I hear that they don't get paid very well.
They don't get paid at all.
I've heard they don't get paid to go on the trips or anything. Like some of that stuff they have to pay for, and that's.
They don't get paid. It's just mostly for exposure and like for your resume. They don't get paid at all, and they have tons and tons of rules and restrictions that they have to follow. They even did a documentary on HBO about the NFL, and they went ahead and discussed the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders because there was some stuff going on. I don't know, but it's just one of those things that if I was a young girl and I don't know any better, then I would have fallen into that.
Well, yeah, I've heard they're not allowed to fraternize with the players at all either.
Right.
And
I don't know.
Yeah, they're not. Supposedly they're not allowed to fraternize in certain places. Supposedly they're not allowed to eat certain things because they can't gain past a certain weight. I mean, basically, there's just a lot of behind the scenes kind of things.
Do you have anybody?
But that's like with any industry, I feel.
What about the industry you're in now, though? Do they criticize anything that hey, it looks like you put on a few pounds? Do they go anywhere near that kind of,
The industry that I'm in right now, I've never had a complaint about being too heavy. I've actually gotten, like, people on set tell me, "Oh, Chloe, you've gotten skinnier."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm naturally thin. Like, if I freaking get lean and look skinnier, then that's because I'm eating healthier. It's not because I'm trying to, like, be skinnier. Because I feel like in my industry, it's more acceptable to be a heavier, thicker girl. Mm-hmm. And I've never really been used to that. I've always been used to, like, being more, like, model thin, like, very petite. And even when I start to gain, like, muscle, like, and I'm gaining, like, five pounds, I feel, and my jeans don't fit, like, I feel weird. And, like, this is not me. It's like, I like being a little delicate flower.
What about, like, breast size and stuff? Do they try to make you get all the fake breasts and all that? Because it's, it seems like the porn star girls have these big, huge double Ds and triple Es and stuff, and that's not you. And I'm here to tell you, don't do it. Don't do it. Because
that's exactly the same thing, the feedback that I get on set. I think if anything, it would be more of, like, outsiders, like people who aren't in the industry, who would want to see me with bigger tits, because that's what porn seems like. Oh, all these girls with big fake tits and big fake lips and big fake asses, and that's what porn should be, right? And, like, all the blonde bimbos or whatever. And I'm nothing like that. So I've always been, I'm a small C, full B right now. Growing up, I used to get made fun of for being, like, flat-chested and stuff, and people with, like, makeup rumors saying I was anorexic. And see, that's where I kind of get a little sensitive, because I'm like, hey, like, I've always been this way, But being in the industry that I'm in, people think my boobs are fake and they're real. And I'm like, I would like them to be bigger. Like, don't get me wrong, because I've always wanted, like, bigger tits. But, like, everybody that I work with, like, tells me, like, don't do it. Like, don't do it. So if it ever were to come up, like, oh, Chloe should get bigger tits, it wouldn't be the people that I'm working with or working for. It would be, like, somebody outside of the industry who has no idea, like, just thinks, like, oh, big tits are, like, the best thing ever. But honestly, like, I like the way my boobs feel now. I'd be scared. I've thought about it a lot, but I'd be scared to change them, because what if they don't come out good?
Chloe, let me tell you something. We're from the East Coast, okay? Unlike the West Coast, the East Coast likes them natural. All right, I don't know what you guys are doing out there.
No, I learned that when I was in New York recently. Like, they like minimal makeup too. Like, they just, like, don't like anything too much. Like,
okay,
no fake titties, no fake anything. Like,
let me put it
no makeup.
I probably should go back on that a little bit. We are guys now. I mean, we're visual creatures, so we like everything, so to speak. But me, I can tell you, and I'm pretty positive most guys that I know, I think for you especially, just looking at your pictures and seeing a lot of your pictures that have been sent, I think it's perfect. You do not go fake. Do not do it. I think you're going to ruin yourself doing it.
I'm curious because, obviously you're hot, right? You're in porn. You sell well. You have a lot of followers. I'm curious, how many, you to backtrack a little, you said kids in high school made fun of you or junior high or whatever grade. How many of those people are trying to get back with you now? Every
single one of them, I would say, they don't even have to message me directly. Like, Facebook's out there. Like, I get, like, people who I didn't even fucking talk to in middle school and high school are trying to, like, be my friends on Facebook. And, like, on Instagram and social media, like, or I guess social media in general, Instagram and Twitter, I recognize their faces and they'll follow me. And, like, they actually say, like, nice comments. Like, they're not bitchy. Like, I think they realize as adults, like, all that stuff that went on when we were kids, like, was stupid. It was stupid, and it wasn't nice. And that junior high is what made me become more of a bitch, because I was, like, super sweet, like, butterflies and rainbows and unicorns and cupcakes, and I thought everyone was nice to each other. I thought everyone, had, like, good intentions for each other, until I learned when I switched schools, no, people don't like you, and people don't want the best for you, and people want to talk shit about you, and people want to fight you, and, like, they just want to be ugly. And I don't know where that stems from, but I just know that I need to stick up for myself. And so I was kind of like quiet, because a lot of the girls I would like initially get along with were like me, but because they got made fun of, I was like, oh fuck, well I gotta hang out with like the tough bitches because I'm gonna get my face knocked in or something, you know? Because I'm a lover, not a fighter, but I will never start anything, but I will finish it. That's for sure. I've been in a few fights in my life. I've been in more than 4 girl fights for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't be fooled by this little body.
Definitely, you just don't look like somebody that would want to fight. I don't
want to fight, but if someone's going to try and start something with me and hit me first or pull me or something, I might want to kill her.
So would you say that's probably, like right now, if somebody walks up to you, okay, let's just say you meet a guy in the bar or whatever, and you tell them, you know, what you do. Do you feel that most guys are open to that, or do you feel that there's a misconception around what you do?
I guess let me go ahead and clear it up, because I never first say what I do. Mm-hmm. I kind of like when I first meet somebody, I want them to get to know me, and it's kind of tough because people are always used to asking that as like one of the first questions, like, what do you do? So I don't say, and I'm not ashamed of what I do. Let me go even further back. Like when I was going to school, like college, like my major was psychology. I wanted to be able to understand and like learn about people because I felt it was an important quality to have, and I actually cared. So that's why I know everyone is not the same, and you never really know who or what you're dealing with. So I don't need somebody prejudging me based on my profession. I rather have them get to know me as the person and then be surprised and be like, wow, I wouldn't have ever thought of a porn star would behave that way or like talk this way, or like you show me a different life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if someone ever asks me what do I do for a living, I first meet them. I guess a guy, for example, I don't really date, but I mean, let's say first date or something.
Did you say you don't date?
Model.
You said you don't date?
I don't really date. No, I just got out of a serious relationship. It's been about a year now, and I'm not, because then what happens, I've noticed, like when I don't even call them dates, like I don't consider them dates, but I guess the guys do, and they like want to hang out all the time, and they want to like be like boyfriend, girlfriend, and I'm like, hell no, I already did that. I don't want to do that right now. Like, especially with like my lifestyle, it doesn't work for me right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be checking in with somebody. Like, I mean, I love spending time with another person that I care about, but I'm more of like in the open relationship situation right now. So it's like he's not my boyfriend. Like, we're not dating. You know what I mean? I'm just like, he's my friend.
Yeah, I mean, because I've seen that, you know, you love to travel and all those kind of good things. So I guess,
and
you know,
it's easier to be able to do
exactly
those things too when you're not in a relationship.
Yeah, you could just pretty much do whatever you want, whenever you want. And I could imagine, because I did notice, like, I saw you had like 65 credits to your name on IMDb already, and you've only been in the industry, what, 2-3 years now? What's it been?
Yeah, and that's like selectively working too. I don't always take every job that's thrown at me.
So that goes to show that you've really been working. I mean, these past few years, you've been putting it in, right?
You make me feel so much better because I feel like I know a lot of girls that work all the time, and like I was like that my first year, but I don't want my whole life to be porn. You know, I have other goals and other aspirations, and like I don't want to get caught up like, you know, years and years go by, because in this industry the time goes by very fast. And like I just don't want to like wake up one day and be like, why didn't I give myself more time to do something else? You know, like I love doing porn and stuff, but I'm trying to work on my website. Like I'm doing customs. Like I'm planning on actually getting into webcamming more, so I can have more time available for myself to do other things, other interests. And then I'm hoping to start feature dancing as well. So I need to be able to have time available to do all these things without feeling so like consumed by porn or so like burnt out, you know?
I'm actually glad that you brought up that featured dancing because true or false, you're set to begin that in fall 2015. Is that correct?
I know my publicist mentioned the fall. I responded back winter because I'm always like putting it off. But I mean, I guess it's kind of good to like have a deadline for it.
Mm-hmm.
I've already been getting offers. My only thing is, like I mentioned before, how I'm kind of a perfectionist. Like, I don't want to just go out there and be any girl on a pole. Like, I want to go out there and like, you're going to see a Chloe Amour show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I guess that's why I've been putting it off a little bit. Because I don't know very many pole tricks at all. And I want to be able to know what the hell I'm doing when I go out there. And I want to have a beautiful costume and amazing makeup. And, like, I want it to be right. I don't want to rush into it.
Well, with your background with being Latina and was it Cherokee, you've got many options. You could just go off of anything you wanted, you know?
I know people tell me I should like look into getting benefits through being Cherokee. Maybe I could just go buy a casino or something and call it a day. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that's not as easy as it sounds.
It's not as easy. No, I think you got to be like 75%.
You got to have tribal affiliation, I believe. Yeah,
right,
tribal
yeah.
affiliation. Yeah.
I'm sure there's like ways to getting around it though, because like it was even brought up to me too, like looking into getting scholarships for school. But I just felt like I was like I'm more Mexican than Cherokee. I'm more Spanish than that. I'm more Latin than Native American. So if I'm going to get benefits off something, it should probably be that.
So I'm curious, what's your off-limits list? What won't you do? I mean, that you've been asked to do.
Oh, that I've been asked to do? That's a tough one because I think people, like, I just recently went independent, but usually there's, like, a screening. Like, people will contact the agent, and the agent will just let them know, like, yes, no, like...
Mm-hmm.
Because then there's also there's like things that I do that probably you can't really see them unless you're looking for them that a lot of girls probably wouldn't do. So it's really tough to say like what's on my no that I've been asked to do because just because I may say no now doesn't mean I might not say yes later.
Okay.
I guess I would need you to ask. If you ask me, I'll tell you yes or no.
So anal. You've done anal,
right? Anal is a yes and a no because it's a no right now, but it's a yes in the future.
So is there like a limit? Like you see some guy's dick and it's like really thick and huge?
Like forget it.
Like like a white guy you're fine with, but anybody else, no, it ain't happening. Okay.
Oh, you mean like if I was going to do my first anal, I'm like, this dick is okay, but this dick is not okay.
Right. Get one of them pinky sized.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to say just because I don't really do anal. I don't do anal in my personal life, which is why I'm taking time to do it on camera because I feel like I need to do it more in my personal life, prep for it, because doing it on camera is on-camera sex is extremely different than, like, at-home sex. Like, at-home sex I kind of like to call lazy sex.
Right.
You don't really have to, like, have certain camera angles. You don't have to do certain positions. You don't have to do them for certain lengths of time. And the guy, Joe Schmo at home, might not be as big as, like, long, big motherfucker. I don't know. So... I don't really know if I'm going to be like, oh, I don't want to work with this guy because his dick is too big. Because they're going to be like, Chloe, you're in porn. Like, what the fuck? So I probably wouldn't judge, like, the dick size. I'm going to be like, I signed up for anal, so whatever dick you give me is, like, kind of what I have to go ahead and be like, yeah, like, put it in there.
So is there, like, do you get to pick the guys, or do you just kind of have to work with whatever's given to you?
I have to work what's given to me.
Oh, wow, okay.
When you limit, like, who you work with, you're basically limiting your work. And, like, I'm already selected as it is, that it's, like, I don't get to pick the guys. All I want to know is, like, is the guy clean? I mean, usually, like, I get kind of lucky because usually the guys I'm assigned with are very experienced. So So I like that. I like being able to work with a guy who knows what he's doing. At the same time, I've also worked with a guy where it was his first scene, and I had to, like, take control, but that's what they wanted. They wanted to, like, show the girl being more experienced with the young guy or whatever, you know?
Okay.
But I prefer to work with a more experienced performer, for sure. I don't care about his dick size, just as long as he's clean, doesn't have BO, you know, doesn't come to work with some weird rash or something. Like,
all right,
good.
All right, so you do have limits. There are limits, so BO's an off limit.
I'm more nervous of the girls, to be quite honest, because the girls don't know how to take care of themselves. There's way too many new girls in the industry, and I'm not one to talk because I've been there. I started off new, and I still feel kind of new, you know, but it's like, because there's just so many of us, but it's like these fucking girls don't know how to clean out their vaginas.
Yeah, they need to douche every once in a while. Understood.
Like, you want me to lick that vagina? No, I'm not doing it.
All right.
Hey, you know what? I have that very same thing in my personal life, too. I feel for you. I want them to be clean, and I will not do anal in my personal life either. So you and I have something in common.
My butthole was once anal, though. I know it's, like, been yearning, because I've had my ass, like, fingered, and it's very pleasurable, especially with the tapping, while I'm getting fucked at the same time. But my pussy's pretty tight, you know, and my asshole's probably, like, 2 to 3 times as tight, because sometimes while I'm getting fucked, even if I'm getting fingered, it can push out the finger from the ass, because that's how small it is. I don't want to say small in there, but I'm really tight. So
that's great. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Facebook's going to be lighting up tonight.
I need probably, like, some shots first. Some tequila shots to, like, numb my booty before I get to pounding.
Yeah, so, like, okay, so you're...
My take on it's a lot different than yours. You know, I spend a lot of time being a goody two-shoes, so I never go to jail just for that fear alone.
Oh, my God. Well, I mean, when I lost my virginity, I never thought I was going to, like, give a BJ or do anal, because I'm like, ew, you don't do that. I don't need to do that. My husband's not going to want that for me. I'm all, like, thinking these things. I'm like,
wow.
You know, my first BJ in porn, and now I, like, learned that I love to sit, and then, you know, I had my asshole fingered, and now I know I'll eventually be ready for anal, so it's just...
Well, there's all kind of weird categories in porn. It's like there's nothing off limits. There's some stuff that I will, like, I don't want to see pictures of dogs fucking women. That just is a big turn off for me. But
yeah, I wouldn't do bestiality either. I wouldn't fuck animals.
No,
that's just.
There's even girls that fuck horses.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's just awful. And to back up just for 1 second, you said something like, and this is the craziest thing. You said that you didn't think your husband would want a blowjob. I'm here to tell you.
I don't know.
That's not going to happen, Chloe.
If it came to that point, I was like, he would be the only one who would get a BJ from me, you know? Because I was like, little innocent Texas girl happened to lose her virginity, you know, like, oh my God, I'm not giving a BJ, that's gross, boys pee out of there. And then that's what I thought at 18. I was like, I had never given a BJ until porn, and the first BJ was at 21.
And now, now that you've been in the business, have you ran into any male out there that doesn't like a blowjob? That's not going to...
She had to think about it.
I don't know any guy that doesn't not like a blowjob. I know like some guys, which actually the guy that I'm talking to right now, which I think that's probably why I like him even more, because it's the weirdest thing. He's like the first guy who doesn't try to get me to like go down on him.
Understood.
Like, he's had bad experiences with girls giving blowjobs that he'd rather skip it.
Yeah.
So, and for me, I'm not usually like, I want to go down on you, but I think that makes me like want to give him a blowjob, because I'm like, oh my God, you don't know what you're missing.
Right. Yeah. So now, is the guy that you're talking to now, is he in the industry or not?
No, he's not in the industry.
And he's totally cool with everything that you're doing?
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm super honest with him. He knows like everything.
Good.
And that's what works for us. That just works.
No, that's great. Now, let me ask you this. I think that I heard something. I want to make sure I heard it correctly from another interview that I was listening to that you were on. You once said that one day you wanted to actually have your pussy molded. Is that true?
Yeah, I still do. I feel it needs to be done because the world needs to know how tight of a pussy Chloe Amour has. Like, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Agreed.
Like, when I saw dudes, like, they're, like, in shock. They're like, whoa, this is a really fucking tight snatch. And, like, it needs to be molded.
So you want to have, like, a patent on your mold. That would be pretty cool.
I mean, a lot of people do it.
Could you imagine, virtual reality, and then do they have this new tech?
Oh, that's, like, the next step for me. I've actually, I probably shouldn't say anything, but I've met with some people. We would like to try to attempt to shoot something like that, and so that's the next step. I mean, that would, if you can successfully do it, because I know that they started doing it in the UK, like, if we could successfully get that done in the US, I mean, that would be, like, the reinvention of porn.
So, like, have a virtual reality on. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because then I think people would feel, like, less guilty because they would still get, like, the same experience. There'd probably be, like, less cheating out there because they wouldn't feel so, like, bad that they have to go get the real thing because they'd have, like, this virtual reality porn.
So you're sort of just in the talks with that, but I know right now you just finished working on a line of apparel. Is that correct? Or was it with JZL? Is that correct?
Oh, okay. Yeah. That is going to be launching, like, a soft launch on the 19th.
Excellent.
And we're working, and we just did, like, a photo shoot called Porn Star Eats Popsicles, which incorporates a lot of different kinds of foods and just, like, really weird, like, creative styles, like, shooting. What we're hoping to do is, like, there's 2 T-shirts that we have that we're kind of figuring out what we want to put out there first or at the same time or how we're going to do it, because I would hope that the T-shirts are colors, but as far as pricing, it's a little bit more affordable if they're not color. But, I mean, the way that, because I don't think you've seen the photos yet, but the way the pictures is just so, like, so many things going on that you had to have it in color. But basically, the first one was, or like, I guess the first draft of the shirt was, it's like a guy's tee with a big bomb pop, and it says porn on the bottom. So it's like red, white, and blue, basically, and it has porn on the bottom. And then the second draft is me with the bomb pops and topless, and I'm wearing, like, all this cool jewelry and stuff, and there's a lot of colors, and that would be, like, the ultimate, like, Porn Star Eats Popsicles, like, T-shirt, like, the route we'd want to, like, go in.
And those those can actually be seen at the site, is that correct? The jzlstyle.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, James is, like, trying to decide on, like, what he wants to do, like, how many shirts he wants to print out, and if we're going to launch them right away or not, and, like, how we're going to launch, because we've even talked about, like, maybe only distributing, like, let's say we'll use 100 as a number. Like, say only make 100 T-shirts and have those, like, be, like, autographed, like, limited edition T-shirts, and then never print them again or something, just so that we can be, like, something really special that fans of mine, fans of his can have. Yeah, so it's just, and that's, like, it's such a new step for me, too, because it's definitely been on my mind, and it's always brought up to me about getting into apparel, but this would be, like, the first step, and he's the one kind of, like, orchestrating it all. You know, I'm just kind of a piece in the puzzle, but It's pretty sick. Like, I've seen it, and, like, I told my mom about it, and she already wants to buy one, and I'm like, okay, well, my mom wants a shirt with me on it, and you have to say, who wouldn't want a shirt?
Oh, you sound like I got a cool parent there. I mean, she's really accepting of what you do, and that's fantastic. I mean,
yeah, both of my parents are. I mean, I only told my mom that I was going to do porn just because I don't want any secrets. And she had her concerns. She actually went and told my dad. And he calls me, and he doesn't say anything. He's just like, how are you doing? I heard you're moving to LA, or you're going to go work in LA. have you considered Maxim, Sports Illustrated? Like, he's like modeling like other brands that are a little bit more sexy to do than having to go all the way. And I'm like, Dad, I don't know why she told you. I'm doing it anyways. I already told her. I'm going to tell you. I'm doing it anyways. Like, I'm an adult, so I'm going to do it. Like, shit. So that was it. And then, you know, they're extremely happy for me. They've seen, like, the success that's, like, coming out of it. And it's, like, for me, I'm not even at my peak right now, you know? And, like, for my parents to be, like, happy and supportive, I don't give a fuck about what anybody else has to say about my profession. For the man that I meet has a problem with it, then that's not the man for me.
I don't blame you at all. I mean, and given the fact that your parents were so accepting, let's say it's this, if you have children one day and she or he wanted to get into it, would you be as accepting as your parents were?
I would be accepting. I would want my kids to definitely tell me first. I would want them to research it because I didn't really, I mean, I tried to research it, but when you Google, like, it doesn't, like, nothing really pops up. Like, the only agencies that popped up was HMLA and LA Direct. And I didn't really know much about those agencies either. And the most I knew about porn was AVN only because of the AVN awards that are shown on Showtime. So, you know, like, and I knew about Wicked Pictures because that was kind of a dream of mine. I was like, ooh, I want to get into porn and be a Wicked contract star, you know? But it doesn't work that way. It's not as easy as it seems. And there's so many models and there's so many companies that it's like, it's different once you get into it. But I forgot where I was going with this. So, like, talking so much, you're like, wait, what was my point? But yeah, no. I mean, like, I told them they're happy about it. I think there's just certain things that my parents have done in their lives that have brought them and made them who they are today, and there's certain things that I've done as well. And I think that we've all just realized that we much appreciate the honesty and the trust and the love because my family is everything, you know? Like, I've been burned by friends and, like, and, you know, other people that you think really care about you. And so I would never, like, turn my back on my family. If anything, my family's, like, the ones that I can turn to.
No, I agree.
They do understand that. And, like, I think it just took for me to grow a pair of balls, even though I'm a woman, tell them, like, how I really felt and what I was going to do. And, like, I think that they felt like they'd rather be a part of my life than rather see me happy. And, like, if I'm happy and if nothing's wrong, then it's not wrong what I'm doing. So
now I noticed, I did notice that you had just recently shot your first BDSM with Ken Marcus. Now,
yeah, like for the photo shoot, yeah.
Was that strange?
What's
BDSM?
BDSM?
I'm really excited to be able to work with Ken because of his line of credits, like his resume. I mean, he's gotten to work with like tons and tons of like magnificent, like successful models, and like I feel honored to be able to work with a photographer like that. And it was just a very interesting experience. Like I told him too, I would like to get more involved with fetish.
Okay.
The only difficulty with that is that I've only done like very light bondage scenes.
Sure.
Like for a lot of BDSM people, they might not even really seem like that's not hardcore. Like she's not really like
Right.
fetish or whatever. But I would like to get involved into it more because in my personal life, I enjoy masochism. I don't do it on camera, I guess. I don't know. I
no
like
50
being
Shades of
bound by
Grey.
girls. That's like a step next to it. But I mean, as far as the shoot goes, it's really interesting. It's like being able to work with him. He's a really nice person, very patient and understanding. And it was just cool. I know that we plan on shooting again, and during that time, I'd like to be like suspended. And
really?
There's this really great shot that he has of Jenna Jameson showing her suspended, and I don't even care about the pictures. I mean, the pictures is awesome, but I'm like, just suspend me. Like, I've never done that before. Like, that's cool. Like, I want to know what that feels like, you know? It was definitely interesting, because even before that, too, I've had nipple clamps on, and they hurt like a motherfucker.
Right.
And then in his studio, he has like different kinds, so it's like some are not, I mean, they still all hurt, but some are not as painful as others. So it's just kind of nice that he had just all of these, like, different things available. Like, we didn't have all the time to be able to shoot as much as we wanted to, but it's just really nice, like, open experience. It was just really cool. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I mean, you're not going to get into all that other stuff where, like, they wrap you in plastic and piss and shit.
I've actually done that before.
You have?
Yeah. There's a smaller company called SM Concept.
Is that what? Okay. Talk to me about this, please.
They're the only ones I've got fetish for. So I've been set up. I've done bondage. I've been blindfolded and, like, you know, teased, and I've been wrapped in, like, that cell thing.
What is that like? I mean, is that one of them deals where you're just, okay, I'm never doing this again, or was it like a turn on?
Well, it was a turn on a little bit, but then it was funny because when I met Ken, he asked me, what all have you done? Mm-hmm. And those were one of his questions. And I was like, I've done that before, but it was for a shoot, and it was it was not for an extreme amount of time. And he's like, well, let me tell you, there's some hardcore people out there that do it for, like, days. Like, they raffles like that for days. And I was like, where do you go to the bathroom? He's like, where do you think? And I was like, is that part of it? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not that cuckoo. You know, I liked it. I like the idea of, like, you know, you even see those, I don't know what they're called. They look like latex machines where they suction it out, like you lay in it, and you only have, like, a breathing tube or something, and then there may be a spot in the genitalia area open, but you're basically, it's just an outer body experience. I mean, you have all these feelings, but you're not allowed to touch yourself, you're not allowed to move, but you have somebody else, like, kind of controlling it. It's interesting. It's interesting for sure. I get where the turn on comes from, because it's unlike anything else. It's so beyond sex, like, you know.
See, now how you were saying when you were in Texas, how you thought that you would never do this or never do that. See, maybe maybe I'm just being a little naive here, but I don't ever see myself doing something like, not even like to someone. I know I wouldn't have it done to me, but even to someone. But you know what? I've never done it, so how would I know? You know, I mean, probably a lot like you're telling yourself, you know, how will you know unless you try it?
Yeah, it's funny you bring this up, because last night when I was having dinner, something similar was brought up where somebody I was talking to would say, I would never fucking do that. And I was like, dude, you don't know until you try. And he's like, I don't want to try. And I'm like, you don't know until you're in the moment and it happens to be available and happen where you feel something different. Like, for example, I've never given a golden shower on camera, but I have done it once in my personal life.
Really?
It wasn't planned, and it wasn't something that I intended on doing. It wasn't something, like, off my bucket list of, like, yeah, I want to pee on somebody, you know, and I don't want someone peeing on me, but the fact that other person was, like, into it, like, turned me on. I was like, ooh, yeah, I'm going to pee on me. Like, fuck yeah. So it was like one of those weird things. It's like you don't expect it. It doesn't sound appealing when you talk about it, but when you're in the moment, I get really turned on by pleasing my partner. Like, that's just, I think that's why I really enjoy porn, is because it doesn't matter, like, being attracted to this person, like superficially or physically, like, right off the bat, you know, like, oh, he's hot, I want to fuck him. Like, no, it's so much more than that. Like, how does it make you feel? Like, what are the boundaries? Like, just, can he take you places where you've never been before? Even with women, too. It's like, whoa, like, I never thought I'd feel something like that. It's like, certain people are able to do those things. I must say, though, I am more attracted to men, so I allow men to, like, make me feel that way more, but, like, you know, I just putting it out there. Like, you never really know until you're, like, in the moment, and it just happens. And I feel like that's kind of the best, like, when it's unplanned.
Now, I know you like to shoot, like, custom videos for your fans and stuff. Is that specifically for, or specifically with you, or are you going to incorporate other people into that, or is that just yourself? It
can be both. It depends what they're requesting, and if they're able to afford what I'm selling that type of video for.
Okay.
I've done a couple that have had 2 male performers in each video for the same customer. And that actually was for a mainstream Norwegian TV show. They requested custom video from me, and I could have probably asked them for a lot more money, but I just felt like it's not fair for me to, like, go ahead and be like, yeah, I want this from you because I know you can afford it, and then, like, everybody, because then I would have to do that for everybody else. Like, oh, well, if you can afford it, then what can you afford? You know what I mean? So just kind of, like, left the prices the same. But it was like, yeah, like the videos, I've done a couple of videos with male performers, and then I've done a couple of videos, like, solo. And the ones I've done solo are always just more of, like, that guy just, like, he wants me to talk to him, you know, like, he wants it to be, like, all about him. And then I've even done weird stuff, like, licking my armpits, you know, like, weird shit like that. And, like, telling the guy, like, yeah, like, you know, like, ooh, you know, you like that and stuff.
Somebody actually pays you for that.
Their name. Like,
wow.
They like to hear me saying their name. It's like more of what it's about.
That is.
And then the other one I did was like a scripted one, like it's completely scripted. Like, I guess kind of similar to what you call like a feature film porn, you know, when there's some acting involved, like you play a character and then you still have sex anyways. I've even done some custom videos like that. So it's just basically whatever the customer is requesting. Mm-hmm. And then if they can afford my rate, then I'll go ahead and shoot it. And, you know, if it involves another person, that's going to take more time because I'm going to need to pay that person. I still have to hire someone to shoot it, and I still have to get lighting or, like, location. Because I'm not going to just send, like, these shitty videos either.
Do you do any one-on-one videos, like Skype calls or anything like that?
I do. I probably should promote it a little bit more, but I work with Adult Verified Chat and Skype. So Adult Verified Chat it's like a third party that just handles all the scheduling. And I think sometimes the fans will get confused because they think, oh, I'm going to be able to talk to her right now. And I'm like, no, that's the point of scheduling it. We have up to a week to schedule this. Like, I'm not just available at the drop of a hat to talk to you whenever you want to talk to me, you know? Like, you need to schedule it. So, yeah, I do just Skype calls. I've done anywhere from, like, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. Just depends, you know, on who's requesting it. But I do those, yeah.
And I just want to talk, and that's it?
I think it's going to be important for me to webcam more because I've noticed with my previous webmaster, I was required, because of by contract, to do 2 shows a month, 5 shows. Mm-hmm. And I noticed, like, the feedback, like, the fans, like, love that. And, like, I don't know how they're able to, like, log in at that random time and, like, come and see me. But I'm like, shit, I should just be doing this on my own. Like, at my house. Why do I need this to go do this?
Cut out the middleman.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that more. I'm going to slowly do some, like, solo webcamming. And then I'm also going to be hosting, like, I plan on hosting weekly boy-girl live shows too.
Wow. Now, I know that you've got like these 2 blogs that are going to be coming up. Are you going to be adding all this information into your blogs as well?
Yes, pretty much anything and everything that I'm doing or have done will be on those blogs. The reason why there's going to be 2 blogs is because one is going to be more RX rated, and the other one I want it to be available to all demographics. I want someone to be able to go on there and not feel weird if there's too much sex, you know, like if there's too much nudity or if there's too much, like, porn talk or if there's a fucking hardcore picture, a dick in their face. Not everyone wants to see a dick in their face, you know, or someone's vagina. So, I mean, I want it to have 2. So,
Chloe, it's actually funny that you mention all this because our site is the exact same way. We have 2 separate podcasts. That's exactly, we have one where, you know, we have the After Dark, which is talking to adult stars, and we have another podcast that is the complete opposite. So I think what you're doing is absolutely perfect. It's a brilliant idea. I hope it works out well.
Thank you. I hope so, too, and I'm excited for it. I mean, it's definitely going to take some getting used to because I want to be able to, like, post on there every day. I think I'm just a little nervous because I think, like, you know, I don't want someone to be able to go on my blog and know I'm talking about them. Like, because, like, you know, I want my fan to be able to know me and, like, what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling. And I'm a pretty honest person, so I'm probably going to have to use, like, fake names while I'm blogging because I don't want anyone to get upset if they're, like, in my blog and they say, oh, some dude has, like, a dick fro or whatever, like, you know, and then they go read it and they're like, she's talking about me, like, oh, gosh, you know, and it's an upset or whatever.
A little insecure.
Yeah.
So give us a little bit more. Let's. How can somebody find you on Twitter? What's your Twitter name?
You can find me on Twitter at Chloe Amour XXX. That's spelled CHLOEAMOURXXX. And on Instagram at Chloe Amour X. I also have a Tumblr, which I believe is Chloe Amour XXX as well. I do not have a Snapchat. I do not have a Facebook. I'm throwing that out there because I constantly get people to ask me, and I know that there's fake profiles out there. So I just want them to know that they're not talking to me. Right now, I'm kind of working on getting my own Facebook because somebody has already created a Chloe Amour, and you know how Facebook and Google are really strict about, oh, are you the real person? I'm like, yeah, I'm the real person. You let the wrong person use my name, you know? Okay. So I'm kind of like stuck in that right now. I want to create a Facebook, but it's like a little difficult to create the Chloe Amour Facebook.
Sure.
And Snapchat, I'll go ahead and I'll create that eventually. I'm not in a rush to do it. Okay. But I'll do it.
I mean, I know we've had you on the phone for a little bit. Would you mind just taking a couple of questions from our audience?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Okay, I'll stay away from these long emails, but I'll kind of just get to the gist of it. So, your favorite and least favorite part of the industry?
My favorite part is being able to get paid to have sex. Bottom line, learning something new about myself sexually and the people that I get to meet. Least favorite part is probably the people I get to meet also because they're not always clean. Some of them are fucking crazy. But at the end of the day, like, I just feel like I can be myself, and whatever cuckoo bird is that's out there, it's okay. I'm sure something happens that made you like that. Yeah, and then I love interacting with my fans. Like, I love that. It was definitely an adjustment for sure. But now, I mean, that's the whole purpose of why I do what I do. It's for my fans. Like, I mean, they're everything.
Okay.
So that's my favorite. That would be my favorite part, my fans.
Okay. All right. How about if you weren't doing porn, what do you think you would be doing? Like, what would your dream job be?
Well, I thought my dream job was to be a psychologist. And from there, I even wanted to change my major from psychology to biology so I could become a psychiatrist so I could get my doctorate degree and prescribe medication. And the reason for that being is just because I really love learning, like, the functions of the brain and, like, different illnesses. And, like, there's so many, like, out there. It's crazy. Wow. And so I was just very, like, intrigued by that, but that's what I wanted to do. I think I just didn't have the self-discipline to sit in school. And another thing with that is I didn't want to be one of those people who got stuck in student loan debt. I mean, even right now that I'm rebuilding my credit, I constantly get these freaking letters of people trying to get me to, like, loan money. And I hate that.
Yeah.
You're basically setting somebody up for debt, pretty much.
Well, that's the American way.
Of course.
Right, because everything's built on credit. So, yes, it's exactly the American way.
Now, it seemed like we got a ton, Zach, of emails, but there was one that came through Twitter, and I believe, Chloe, that you favored it at some point there. It's from Doug at SigmaPoet1914, and he said, what inspired you to get into the business, and what are your future goals? Okay. Well, I guess you answered what inspired you to get into the business, but I guess your future goals.
My future goals is I want to turn Chloe Amour into a brand. Anal and maybe gangbang would probably be my, like, big bang out, you know?
Really?
My future goal, yeah.
Like how many? How many?
How many?
Like you said, gangbang. So how many? Like how many guys? Just curious.
I mean, well, the contract. Oh, no more than 6.
No more than
so you don't
6.
want to be breaking any world records or anything like that.
Oh, thank you. No, thank you. No. I mean, 5. Maybe 5 is good enough. I don't know, 6 just sounded more like hardcore.
Okay.
But you so essentially just want to turn into a brand, right?
I mean, shit, if I'm going to do anal, then I'm definitely going to get those offers of like, okay, can we have a guy fucking you in the ass and fucking you in your pussy at the same time? Well, fuck, I guess if I already did anal, might as well, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's going to lead to like, okay, can we have 3 guys and 4 guys and 5 guys? And I'm like, so those scenes would be like, big thing, like, thank you very much, industry, love you, and I'm on my way out. Just because that's as hardcore as I would want to go, I guess. I mean, but then, like I said, there are some things that I do that they're not really, like, they're very, like, I mean, they're not, like, not very many girls would probably do them that I do that, you know, but they're hard to find. These things are really hard to find. Yeah, so turning Chloe Moore into a brand and winning at least one award just so the industry can show me that they actually gave a shit of what I did. You know what I mean? And then, as silly as it sounds, I wish it wasn't this way. I mean, because there's so many, like, amazing performers out there that don't get recognized. I mean, they get recognized in their own way, but, I mean, a lot of the times, like, people on the outside or people in mainstream pay attention to, like, girls that win awards that I want to cross over. Like, I enjoy acting. Like, I enjoy writing. Like, I want to direct. So I want to be able to direct my own porn films, my own independent films. I don't even know why I say film, because we're not even on film anymore, but movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's lingo.
Right. It's like saying you bought the record. Nobody buys the record anymore, you know?
What?
I say, you know, it's like saying you bought the record of something, but nobody really ever buys the record.
Oh, right. Yeah, the album.
Right. Yeah, I got the album. No, you didn't.
Yeah, so those would be the steps. Like, I want to be, and yeah. So those are my goals. Okay. I could keep going, but those are the goals.
Sure. So we did see. Want to wrap this up with you for one thing. We did see you're coming to DC here mid-May. Is that correct?
Right.
Is this business or personal?
It's personal. I've never been there before, so I'm going to go out there. And I have friends who live out there, and we'll just kind of see, like, visiting, vacation. That's why I tweeted. I was like, they've never been there, so, like, does anyone know what to do out here?
Well, you ought to be used to the traffic.
Okay, so let's ask this. What kind of responses are you getting? Where are they telling you to go?
I would have to look on Twitter to tell you. Because I got quite a few different responses. Most of them were just, like, historical places.
Right. That's where you'll be the safest.
Sure.
All right.
Like, literally in the historical buildings. Yeah.
It depends on what you want to do here. Like, in other words, do you want to go shopping? If you want to go shopping, go to Georgetown. You know, those guys.
If you want to get shot, go to Southeast. Yeah. So
famous Georgia. I mean, I would definitely, like, I'm all about learning history. Like, when I went to Chicago for the first time, I went, like, on an architectural boat tour, which was pretty cool because
very nice, yeah.
I had no fucking clue, like, about anything about Chicago, and so it's a nice little way to learn about the city and, like, how beautiful it is and, like, where it started from and stuff. But I'm really into, like, food. So I want someone, like, to tell me where all the good restaurants are.
The easiest thing you can remember is when you land here in D.C., just get a cab, tell them to take you to the mall. And then when you get to the mall, and see, everybody thinks it's the mall, like the mall's the mall, but the mall in D.C. is where the Washington Monument, Museum of Natural History, Air and Space Museum, Lincoln Memorial.
Okay, then that makes sense because someone did say that to me, and I was like, "Oh my god, they just think I want to go shopping."
No. Yeah.
It's a buttload of fucking walking too. So it's
there is
shape.
The thing is, the White House, everything is just it's all within walking distance. The Vietnam one, the Vietnam Memorial. Is that right there? Is that?
Yeah, it is.
The Vietnam thing. to pay respect to, like, the veterans.
Correct. The World War II. Everything is literally right there. The Capitol building, everything is right there. So once you get what they call the mall, you'll be within walking distance. But like I say, the problem is you walk a couple streets over and it gets bad real quick. So just remember to stay in kind of the tourist area. And like I say, if you want to go shopping, don't go to the mall. go to Georgetown. Definitely go to Georgetown for that. And obviously, if you want to go clubbing and and stuff like that, then there's certain areas for that. But it sounds to me like you're more into the to the history and all that. So if you just hop in a cab, tell them to take you to the mall, and you'll spend a good day or two there just looking around. It's a great area. It's beautiful down there.
Oh yeah,
especially at this time.
Perfect. So then, basically, I just tell them to take me to the mall, and they'll know what that means.
They'll know exactly.
Tell them you want to see the historical sites.
Yeah,
so I'd like to go to the mall. Yeah.
If you tell them anything, like if you want to go to the Washington Monument or Museum of Natural History, everything is right there. It's impossible to miss.
Oh my gosh! I have to go to these things now because I don't think I realized all of these things were in D.C. I mean, the White House, of course, but it's like. Mm-hmm. The Museum of Natural History. I mean, didn't they just freaking come out with like a movie, or they've come out with like 3 movies?
Yeah.
About that, or that's Night at the Smithsonian. Okay.
Yeah. That was a Ben Stiller. Right.
Ben Stiller movies. Yeah.
Museum of Natural History. Like that sounds very familiar to me, and obviously I haven't been there. But it's like, oh, that's in D.C. Like, might as well go check it out if I'm gonna be there.
Oh yeah, and it's all free too. I mean,
exactly what Zach said. Everything is free there. If you want to go into the Lincoln Memorial, it's free. If you want to go over to Air and Space, it's free. So, here was the thing. I don't know about you, Zach, but when I went up to New York, I went to go up to the Museum of Natural History. Come to find out, you have to pay to get into that one, and it's expensive as hell.
Well, I have a suggestion. You want to stay away from the White House lawn tour because I hear you will get a paid vacation, but not where you want to go. So.
Yeah, stay away from the tour where you jump over the fence and the Secret Service tackles you. You do not want to do that tour, I can promise.
Oh, you people offer that out there?
Although you might be able to get all the way in the front door. You never know.
Maybe I'll be like, is Obama there? Can I meet him? Like, he doesn't
Good
know
luck.
who he's meeting. Don't take any pictures.
You might actually get through.
I mean, he's already done his 8-year run. I don't think it will mess up his reputation too bad.
It worked for Clinton.
You know what, Chloe? We've held you on the phone for way too long. You have been gracious. Thank you so much for joining us. I cannot begin to tell you. I know you're probably muscling through it with this illness, so thank you so much for joining us. You have been fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to try to, muster up the energy to, eat something. Because it's, one of those weird things where you're, hungry, but then you don't want to eat because you don't feel good.
Right.
But, I'm going to try.
And if you need a tour guide, when you come here, just hit up Zach and I, and we'll give you the good tour of these.
Absolutely. I will take y'all up on that.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay, cool.
Have a great day. Bye-bye. She was awesome.
Yeah, she was. I couldn't get it word in edgewise. She had a lot of information.
I literally had every question that I was thinking, okay, I'm going down the line here. There's going to be some things that, she's going to grow fucking tired of wanting to answer these questions, but she didn't at all. And I just kept asking and asking and asking. I mean, she's awesome.
Oh, I know. I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't get a word in edgewise, but she was cool. I liked it. She's really down to earth kind of, person. So she answered all the questions that we could have come up with. Just listen to the interview multiple times. Tell your friends to listen to it. If you have any more questions, we'll pass them along at thestatementshow@gmail.com. Go ahead and tell them how we can get us on Twitter there, Terry.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter @StatementShow. Again, I'm trying to write these things down. It was Twitter. Her Twitter is @ChloeAmourXXX, and her website is ChloeAmourXXX.com. Make sure you check her out. She is phenomenal. Also, don't forget, visit www.thestatementshow.com. Hit us up on Audible. Make sure you click that link. Look, we're we've never asked for a dime from any one human being around here. We want to keep this site. We want to keep the podcast free. So by hitting the Audible link there for us, you're helping us out, keeping it free. So make sure you do us that favor, and we would thank you for it.
Absolutely. So remember, that's www.thestatementshow.com. And go ahead and hit the sponsor links, like you said, and we'd appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. And that kills it for another episode. Kind of like it out there.
I think Chloe said it all.
Yeah. All right, man. That's the lights are out on another episode of Statement Show.
See ya. I will not do anal in my personal life either, so.
The world needs to know how tight of a pussy Chloe Amour has.
Don't do it. Don't do it.